We learn for the semi-automatic washing machine. Symptom is it's not working. Machine is dead. Customer feedback is the machine is dead or washing machine does not work. Some of the questions asked related to the symptoms. Is there any burning smell? It is to understand if it is a loose connection or a fuse burn. Can you see any display on the machine panel? This is for semi-automatic machine which having a display. It is to understand if the PCB display is working or not. Does the smell come when the machine is working? This is to understand the possibilities of motor fault. Have you checked another electrical product on the same power board to understand if there is any fault in the main board? The dot matrix related to the particular defects are main board faulty, main cord faulty, fuse blown, loose open connection or wrong wiring, or PCB faulty. Possibilities of failures: fuse blown, main cord faulty, loose or open connections are related to electrical type of defect. PCB faulty is an electronic type of defect. Main board faulty is of environmental conditions type of defect. We check the parameters like main board. We check for the loose, short or open wiring connected to the main board. And then we check the power cord. Check for the burn, open, wire or short or rodent bite in the power cord. In case it is there, we have to replace the power cord. Then we check the fuse in a power cord. If the line fuse for the open circuit, we have to replace the fuse. In case of loose connection, we have to check for the loose connection at all the electrical parts in the machine. Ensure that we make the proper connections. After that, we check for the PCB. We check PCB for any component burn, burst or short. If it is there, we have to replace the PCB. Required tool and equipment: plier, multimeter and a tester. We check for the main board defect. We check for any damage in the main board. Check for the internal wire damage, short open circuit in the main board. Check for any rodent, lizard, external factors in the main board. Check if the on-off switch in the main board is functionally properly. If the main board have fuse, check if the fuse is not open. Then we check for the main board. The voltage across neutral and phase is 230 volts. Voltage between phase and earth is 230 volts. Voltage between neutral and earth should be in between 0 to 2 volts. We have to check for the main cord defect. We have to check for any cut or damage in the power cord. We check the internal wire damage in the cord or pin top. Check the line fuse in the power cord. We visually inspect the power cord for any type of breakage, insulation open, pinching, rodent bite, burn marks, etc. If any breakage found, we have to replace the power cord. Then we check the power cord by continuity method. A small video has been shared, which is available on YouTube also. Check for the fuse blown. We have to check if the line fuse is blown or open. Please note that do not bypass the fuse or use wire in place of fuse. If good fuse will give beep sound, bad fuse will not give the beep sound. By using continuity method, we will check the fuse. We check the resistance of the fuse. If the fuse is in good condition, it will show some rated resistance value. If the fuse is bad condition, it will not show any resistance. It will show infinity resistance, that is open circuit. In case of loose or open connections, we have to check for any loose or burn connections. Check for any wire damage, open short circuit in the wires. We check for the incorrect wiring connections. If any loose or burn connections, we do the joint again properly. If any damage, open, short circuit in the wires observed, we have to replace the wire harness. If any incorrect wiring connections observed, we have to correct. Then we check for the PCB fault. Check for any burn marks or damaged components on the PCB. Check for the output from the PCB to the electrical component in the washing machine. If the burn marks or the damaged components on the PCB is there, we have to replace the PCB. We have to check the output from the PCB to the electrical component in the washing machine. If no output from the PCB, then the PCB is faulty. Thank you.